Welcome to my Ghost of Yotei review. So, at this point, I did play a good 80 hours of the game. I also did platinum the game, and I will tell you some good and some bad that I think this game has in comparison with the first one. So, right off the bat, I'm gonna say I think Ghost of Yotei is a very good game and a very good sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. That being said, though, it has some good and it has some bad, and I'm gonna start off with the story. So in big lines, the story is like your family gets murdered. You go on this whole killing spree, and like that is pretty much like in two big lines. That is pretty much where the story goes. So I think that this game, story-wise, is like weaker. Where like for example in Ghost of Tsushima, where Jin had more reasons to do what he did. Like he like struggled with being like a shinobi. He struggled with like changing the samurai codes that he was raised with. Um, so where that story goes like a little bit deeper into why things happen and why Jin feels a certain way about certain events in the story. Um, I need to say that doesn't really happen here. Um, Obviously, this review is going to be pretty much spoiler free, um, as much as it goes for both games. But that being said, to like dive a little bit in the story, so hereby a little spoiler warning. At least for like the first game. So like where Jin like lost his father, and then like you have some questions about his father, like what happened and why didn't Jin help him. Um, that doesn't really happen here. Here it's pretty simple. They didn't save their parents because they were little kids against like four adult people, and like where in Jin's story, like you had like people that agree with him and people that like disagreed with him. Here, that doesn't really happen. To like, give an example, like Jin struggles with being the way that he is, and like leaving the samurai way that his uncle clearly doesn't agree with. But then, like for example, his grandmother kind of agrees with it by giving him the potion. And then like some samurais agree with him, and others have something like, what he did and how he defeats the Mongols. We cannot do it that way. So like where Jin's story goes really deep, this stays pretty much at the surface. That being said, though, the story is pretty serviceable for like what it is, but it doesn't do much more than that. That being said, though, on gameplay wise, I think this sequel is way better. So a big change to like the previous game is like in the previous game we used to have stances. Now we pretty much have stances as well, but instead of just a different stance with our sword, we have different weapons. So we have a spear or a yari, how it's called here. You have a kusarigama, dual swords, a sword, and a dadachi. Then of course you have your quick fire weapons as well. Um, but like I really like the different weapons more than the stances, because like besides being somewhat of a different stance, every weapon kind of has its unique things. So like the Odachi has like this kind of you could say like interrupt move with that shoulder bash. Well, if you go for like example to the Yori, you have this kick that can literally give you some space into a battle. And like if you go then to like the um, Kusarigami, It's like it is like pretty much your AOB ranged weapon, at least for your melee weapons. Also, when it comes to our ranged weapons, we have the bows back that we had before. We have the bombs, and the new addition is we have the gun. So all of that is a really nice addition. Like I said, um, every weapon counters like a different weapon, but every weapon is as viable as the other one. So that is something that I really like. That being said, though, besides the different weapons that now serve as the stances, one thing that I do like as well is like is the wolf. Like the wolf is not like it's not like a companion like in other things. Like it's not that the wolf is like 24/7 with you. He occasionally will like show up. Sometimes he will save you. But most of the times, it's pretty occasionally that you see him. So that do I really like. And just in general, like the things that they added to combat, I think I really like it. To like give like a few examples, like here you besides the perfect parry and the dodge that we already had, eventually you will learn to like disarm enemies. Disarm enemies has a big advantage in that way that like enemies without weapon, they're pretty much defenseless against your weapon attacks. But on the other side, enemies can also disarm you, and then you're defenseless against their attacks. So I really like that. That's a really nice new mechanic that they added. And one thing that I also like is like those weapons that you do disarm, you can also like pick them up and throw them. Um, I can have a whole talk about how overpowered those thrown weapons are and how satisfying they are, but that might be for another video. Um, that being said, though, it's not all good. I mean, not that I have much bad things to say, but like especially in your ranged weapons, where like the bows are really good, they're really flushed out. I think that the gun is a little bit lackluster. Not only do you have two bullet types instead of like three for every bow, you only have two. But that being said, though, also like from sustainability, it is it's not as good. Where you will regularly pick up arrows, you will regularly find like arrow stashes that you can restash your arrows. But with like guns, that is not really the case. That being said, though, guns are a really late game weapon. So like for most of the game, you will use your bows. That being said, though, something else that I really like about the gameplay is like we have loadouts right from the bat. That is really nice. We didn't have that in the first game. It's nice that they added it. Um, that being said, though, something that did change, though, compared to the first game, is like your charms. So, like, you have different charms with different effects, and I don't want to spoil too much here, so I'm not gonna open them. But like, pretty much, you will start off with two major charm slots. This will be our minor charm slots. But as you can see, mine are all major charm slots, so that is something that changes. Like you start off with two, but the more charms you collect, like the more major slots you get. To like open just this one, you also see that charms now have levels. So just to talk about this one a little bit, my Mitsubishi is like a little bit like dust that you throw at the enemy. Now inflicts poison damage and deals major stagger damage over time. Well, at level 1 that is like minor stagger damage. At level 2, that's like a moderate amount of stagger damage. And at level 3, that is a major amount of stagger damage. And every charm has its own criteria and its own challenge to level it up. So I think they really improved the charms quite a bit by adding those level up and also adding all those main slots. So you no longer have to choose between minor and major. Um, that being said, though, I think that the armor sets, I believe you have less armor sets than in the first game, and I find some of them really, really disappointing. To just get into to this one armor set, you see, you have quite a few, but I'm only gonna show this one. Like this is pretty much the armor you start with, and the upgrades you can see right off the bat, so it's not really a spoiler. But like to in my playthrough at least, like this is pretty much your ghost armor you could say from the first game. Well, I literally never use this armor. Like I had it from the start, and obviously I use it in the start because you have no other armors. But like as soon as I got like one or two other armors, this kind of went to a side note, and that is like something that I find a little disappointing because like the ghost armor in Tsushima is really good. You also get it later into the game. But it is good. It serves a purpose. Like it really serves as like you start at Jin, the samurai that like finds it hard to like stab people in the back, but then like becomes like this ghost of Tsushima, huh? This mythical warrior that everyone is talking about. Um, so I find that a really nice transition. Well, this armor it didn't really do it for me. Not only do I not really like the effects on it, but yeah, it doesn't really serve anything. It levels up from time to time. It pretty much goes automatically, and that's pretty much everything that happens. That being said, armors in this game, and by that extent weapons as well, are really easy to upgrade in this part two of the Ghost series. So like where um in part one, you often had like some materials you're missing, and you couldn't fully upgrade it, and you had to wait, or you had to like play to the story to like get like other upgrade materials. Here you don't really have that. Um, your armors you can pretty much upgrade. For example, when I got the Yari, I could fully upgrade it right off the bat. When I got the Kusarigami, I could upgrade it right off the bat. So like upgrading things in this is way, way easier. Um, but yeah, like I said, some armors are really good and others are kind of disappointing in my opinion. And like I said, that that goes for the first game as well. In the first game there are also like some golden armors and some armors that are not as great, but I feel that like the armors in this game, they yeah, they just have like an even bigger impact on each other. Like you have some armors that you think like, wow, this is really great, especially when you build around it a little bit, and then you have armors that you have something like, I would literally never use this. And for me, the ghost armor was one of them. And just give me one moment. I got a phone call. Sorry for that. Sometimes that happens on like a little inconvenient times. But good. Back to what I was saying. Like the armors, they're really, yeah. Some are really good, some are really bad. That also being said, for like the ranged weapons, like where the bows are really fleshed out, they have an armor set that really makes bows shine. Like until the late game, you can pretty much run a bow build and be like super overpowered, like pretty pretty early on. Um, I feel that the gun, though, like I said before, I feel that that is like it feels a little bit like an afterthought, you know? Like it is a nice weapon, and I like to use it, don't get me wrong. And it is powerful as well, but like besides all those things, like I said, the ammo pickups that you have for this thing, they're kind of lackluster compared to the ammo pickups you have for bows. Then also like you if you have the bow armor set, it's really good. But like I said, I don't wanna spoil too much. And then eventually you kind of get like a gun armor as well. And like if I just compare those two armors, it feels like it feels like night and day. You know, like the the bow armor really like complements the bows, makes them stronger. Where the gun armor is like, oh, we just throw some passives and some effects on this armor. Um, so yeah, that is something that I hope they definitely change. Moving forward, I hope the gun gets a little love, that they increase the ammo drops, or that they increase the ammo that you find into the world. Um, I also hope that maybe with some DLC, if we get that, I hope that we maybe get a better armor set for the gun. Also, like when it goes to charms, you have some really nice charms. You can have some really nice builds. I have like one, two, three. Like I have a few. Sorry for the little spoiler there, but like I I do have like quite a few builds with all my armors. Um, but like I said, if you go to the charms, like you have a lot of nice charms, but like because you unlock the gun so late in the game, there's not much rooms to get any gun focused charms. Like I think you have maybe, I don't know, two or maybe three gun charms. Well, you maybe have like 10 bow charms, you know? So I really hope that they give the gun some love, that it becomes more of a more viable weapon. That being said, though, what else did I love about the game? I did love the map exploration, like where the map in Ghost feels like a little bit like a checklist. Here you have that less. Um, Also, one thing that I really love about this game, also in the first game, by the way, but like you can just like explore the map a little bit, and it's just like the first part that I'm showing. But you can like explore the map, and you will like stumble in some enemies, or you will stumble into a guy that tells you something, or you will stumble into a secret. Like the open world in this game is really good. It was really good in Ghost of Tsushima, in my opinion. But I feel in this game it is so much better. Like you wanna go do the main story here, and then while you're running to the main story, you get sidetracked by some side activity, and you're doing that side activity here, and then like you want to go back and then you find another side activity or you stumble across another person. Like it's really something. It's really nice. But in big lines, I think that this game is really good. Like I said before. Um, but to summarize my overall review for this game, I think gameplay wise, this is a huge improvement over the first game. Like the different weapons are definitely better than the stances. The ranged weapons they feel better. They carry over some things from Ghost of Tsushima Legend as well. But it's nice to see. There are a few mentions to the first game, what is also nice to see. And overall, like I said, although I think the gun needs some love, I think that the gun is a really nice addition to our arsenal. The different weapons are a really nice addition to our arsenal. Story-wise, I'm not gonna say that they dropped the ball, but like it is weaker. But that being said, though, I also think it's something you cannot 100% compare with each other. In that way, like Jin's story was kinda, and I need to be careful what I'm saying here because sometimes people get triggered about it. But like where Jin's story was like borderline, like historical accurate with the Mongol invasion and like the samurai that like drove them off and stuff like that. Like this is a total work of fiction. In that way, like yeah, there's not nothing historical accurate. Where Chin story kind of had that going a little bit. Um, that being said, though, like I said, the story serves its purpose. Um, but it feels weaker than the first game. But I still highly recommend this game. I think if you loved Ghost of Tsushima, you will definitely love Ghost of Yotei. There's a lot of fun to be had with this game. Maybe a little rough around some edges, but in yeah, in most of my hours, I had a really good time. And if there comes a third game, I really look forward to it. I think they did a great job with this game as well. I hope if there comes a third game that they improve the story a little bit. And yeah, that is pretty much everything that I have to say. And there we found some mushrooms. I know, just something random on a side note, but still. So I hope that this review did help you out. I definitely recommend this game. I definitely would say like go check out the game. They also come with like another legend mode, I believe next year. So knowing the first legend mode, it was a lot of fun. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm definitely gonna play it. And that being said, I will see you in the next video.